sorry to bother. Can we?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I just started the recording.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me, Lalit. Um, yes. So basically now this is a more detailed kind of looking at the various programs that are uh, part of the project. This is the TVCC building, which is happening right at the back, which essentially houses your hotel and all the recreational activities and your restaurants and things like that. That's also becoming a part of the entire planning of the project. Interestingly enough, the TVCC building at some point had caught fire, and that was one big kind of an issue. Yeah, I mean, fire is an integral part of the project in a sense. Then the restaurant and Sky Studios and the business kind of involvement happens at the upper level. You have your lobby and your studios at the lower level and the offices. And here is basically all your, all the vertical spaces which will happen for your basic administration functions and things like that. Um, I think y'all can kind of now, based on this, go through these diagrams more in detail. It talks about the major circulation. I mean, the red one here would largely talk about your vertical kind of lift shafts, and the rest of them are talking distribution, and some are also talking about the circulation at the lower level. So I'll leave it to you to kind of go into it in detail, in detail and study that further. These are also further diagrams which are talking about the same thing. It talks about the various modules that are part of the project. I'm not going into the details of it at this point. It's also a scale which is much smaller, but essentially your parking and things like that is also taken care of at the lower level. Um, so yeah, so I think we've covered these things. We'll just skip to the next, which is the most important part of the presentation. Essentially, what is happening is that I think at the design and services stage now, the services and the construction part of it was led by Arup, which Meenal has also spoken about earlier as a practice. They have kind of done very large scale work, and they are one of the leading large scale kind of construction uh, office internationally. So the thing is that what they had, I think, what the fire kind of evacuation system has also been designed and planned with them, because they are the MEP consultants as well. So what has happened is that they've kind of been able to divide it because of the design of the project. They've been actually been able to divide it amongst the two wings. So in a sense that it creates a loop between it. But at one point, if one is not functioning, then the other can be dependent on also. So there is that kind of a possibility that works out between them. But essentially, the whole system is then working as a loop. So you see your air conditioning, which is happening here, and then it kind of connects at the upper level and comes down to kind of create a shaft in the vertical here. In both these edges, you can see that, and the connection at the horizontal is happening here. Meenal, if there's anything that you would like to speak about here in detail, please, because I'm
Sure. I'll jump in if I feel I need to talk on.
yeah.
Sure.
The red line essentially is indicating your power communications and heat related lines. The topmost portion talks about heat rejection, which is where, like, basically when it's running across the building, the rejection will happen from here. That means the outlet kind of it's released from that point in the building. And uh, yeah, I mean, sorry. So Yes, Meena, you would like to add
Yeah,
something?
I would just like to add on to this is that
Yeah.
you can see this, guys. Can you see the blue lines there horizontally with air conditioning written there? Okay, and you can see the arrows that is being marked up and down. That means that the entire building is now zoned into those parts, so that becomes your mechanical floor, where the machinery required to cool that many number of floors would be placed there. And what they have done is, instead of just serving niche wala floor ya upar wala floor, they have said that we would have this and it would serve, say, 6 here and 6 down, something like that. So if you see, the entire
So
building is
the
zoned. You have a basement, you have the first mechanical floor, and then you have a continuous mechanical floor at that top wala thing where there is a big gap in the center. So that is how the whole zoning of the building has happened. Yes, Swati, continue. I finished.
the AHUs also happen here, right, Meena? That's where the
AHU, even the plant room, because AHU is a
yeah.
part of the plant room. When I say zone, means the whole new kind of a plant room comes up there. It would be next to impossible to push the chilled air or even chilled water to such a high level. And that's why they zone the buildings, because even if I have very high power of pumps, it won't be sufficient, and it is unnecessary spending too much of energy. So might as well. And then what happens in a long run, the maintenance cost becomes too high, right? And so to cut down those operational and maintenance costs, it's better to install a new kind of a AC, क्या बोलते हैं, plant room, rather than go for these kind of things. So that's how the entire thing is planned. That's why the zoning is so important in a high rise kind of a thing.
Okay. Yeah, so that is the plant rooms that you were talking about are shown here now.
Yep. Yeah, so see, it's the main plant rooms where they actually, but the cooling tower need not be separate. The same cooling tower, if you time them well, time them in the sense, not time them, but you space them well, and if your plant rooms are spaced well, through the same shaft, you can take care of the cooling thing, because there can be separate pipes. And don't get worried, guys. You don't understand the looping, forget it, no problem. I will be telling you all about this in the coming sessions when we will be taking the air conditioning in detail. लेकिन होता क्या है कि प्लांट रूम में एक चीज होती है जो होता है कंडेंसर. नाउ कंडेंसर है, बहुत गर्म हो जाता है, सो बेसिकली यू नीड टू कूल इट. Now, how would you cool it? आपके पास दो ऑप्शन है. You put a big fan or you put a water loop around it. Now, if you put a fan, that means you are getting lots and lots of hot air coming out. अब वो hot air कहाँ जाएगा? In the atmosphere. So you are basically creating a lot of urban heat, है ना? And that is bad. And if you imagine such buildings having 5-6 buildings around, the whole thing will start boiling. So definitely air cooled condenser is not a good choice. That's why they go for water cooled condenser, and for that you require cooling towers. तो कूलिंग टावर्स का काम क्या है? कंडेंसर को कूल करना, बाकी कुछ नहीं. उसको प्लांट रूम से और कुछ काम नहीं है, सिर्फ कंडेंसर को कूल करना है. And that is why they will require. Now, if I have two plant rooms, okay, I can have the same kind of same cooling tower, but looping double होगा, because I don't want that depth ना, या gravity नहीं चाहिए मुझे. Imagine the same pipe को T लगा के मैंने उसको नीचे continue किया, प्रॉब्लम वही होगा, प्रेशर, which we already did in a high rise water pressure ka, water supply mein we studied that, right? That as it comes down, the pressure is tremendous, and I don't want that. So all I do is I cut down the pressure, that's it. So that is how it is done. ठीक है? Yeah, Swati, I finished.
One second, I'm just yeah. So, I didn't mention was this also the seismic zone. So the structure design considering that, so that it's basic a smaller kind of earthquake that is damage is actually zero, and it as it increases in its intensity, it then only becomes minimal or repairable kind of damage. At no point is the whole to which is also an daily aspect. This is all about further they can absorb situation. And like Ina has already kind of explained, the shafts are working in terms of vertical connections, and this the service floors as such that have been created. So this service floor will serve your 13. Then there is a break, and then you have this point. Then you have one more at the horizontal base where the entire thing is connected at this point. So the one point that we were talking about in the beginning, strategy because of the building, the way it is designed, is this, that as per their calculation, kind of a strip. The evacuation kind of will take about 51 minutes as compared to two towers which are not connected to each other, and they kind of individually function, and that's at 73 minutes. And then there is a higher, like a high rise that you have, and that is much more in time that would be required, because you're bringing everybody from all the way from the top to the bottom, and then you would be able to evacuate. Of course, the number of lifts and things like that are different, but still, because of the amount that you're going higher, it has that kind of higher risk and time that is taken with it. Because it is a strip like this, and it has kind of multiple connections, and it does get divided into different kinds of cores, then you have multiple evacuation points which allow you to leave the building faster, and that's why the number of minutes that a person from the top to the bottom is taking is much lesser as compared to anything which is vertically kind of just working on one core. So that was the idea, I think, which was also the crux of understanding how this building should be designed, and if this kind of a continuous strip could help and aid that as well. Also because they've kind of seen a fire which is live in the same plot, that would probably also be now better. They probably are feeling better about having lesser evacuation time. Um, So those are the three buildings that you see then on site. This is the building I was talking about, which did catch fire, which houses your recreational activities in the hotel and things like that. This is your two-floor service building, and that's your continuous CCTV building. So from my end for the CCTV, that's all we have. If anybody questions, we can take them now. If Meenal, if you would like to kind of comment on anything, we can take that down before we go to the project.
Yeah, so guys, if you have any questions, you can ask. We will try to answer, because since this building is very complex, not possible that everything we know in detail, but whatever logically we can surmise, we can do that. That's where I always say this as a this thing, because services में कैसे होता है, you have lots of consultants and no two consultants think alike. Okay, and also the designer, when an architect is dealing with, say, consultant A and consultant B, both can come up with different design ideas. Okay, and then the architect's point would be which one is feasible, which goes with his idea. Or he may even think like this: okay, A is better than B, but then my design is not fitting, but that is more safer. And so probably he will tweak his design to fit the design of consultant A. ऐसे भी होता है. So it's all give and take, mutual consent between the consultants and the architect. And so ideally the process should be, the ideal takeaway of this entire high rise and everything is, the process should always involve that when you are designing, you need to be in touch with the consultants. and you can ask them, Baba, aisa hai to kya kare? So while you are designing, you incorporate such places or such spaces where in future the consultant don't have to change the design. That's one way of taking design, I mean, talking about design. And that's when we say integration of design and technology is this. Yeah.
Yeah, but what happens most of the times is that we bring the consultants on board only much later. So by then, most of the damage is also kind of done, and it's very difficult to then adapt to many of these processes. So this was a great example because they are looking at a lot of these possibilities from the beginning, and that's why the design has emerged with many of these problems kept in mind, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And this happens, huh, guys. And what happens worst is, as an architect, you have shown the design to your client, and client is very happy with the design. But now you know that this design is not safe because your consultant A has given you this, okay? And now what will you do? So then you will have to change, and then you have to convince your client again. But now client is stuck with that idea. So then it's a mess, guys. I tell you, it's just so much of back and forth procedure that's why one got to be a little smart in dealing with people. That's why we say teamwork is very important in architecture. Hmm.
So anybody would like to say anything, or should we move on to the next project? Meena, then I'll continue with the next project that we have.
Sure, sure. You can continue.
So the next project that we have is the Marina Bay Sands, and it was we thought of including this also from the point of view of to see because it involves to be people who are deployed at certain times if there is an emergency situation, and how that whole thing becomes a kind of top down strategy which helps you actually function with such a large structure. So that was an important aspect of even choosing this building. Of course, it is a high rise, and it's also been designed in terms of its services with Arup. Um, so yeah, this is the project in Singapore. I'm sure most of you have seen it. So largely the zoning that happens is that's the theater, the casino, and then you have your promenade, which is opening out to the water, and then the museums and things like that are part of the project. Um, yeah, that's all three towers together. Yeah, that's what it is on site and across the entire landscape that you have. Some few other images of the project. Yeah, this is largely all our programs that we spoke about. Um, um, so I think yeah, well, if this is clear, then we'll move on to the next part of it. Just a second, just give me a second, please. One second. So what you're looking at is basically the retail spaces here, no? And that we saw at the ground floor level, you have like the shopping areas, etc. And what you see is then these are the images of the retail spaces, which is about 2 floors high. So you have about 6 meters at the bottom. And that's your space there. One second. Um, then you have your shared car park and things like that, just at the same floor on the other side. And what's happening here is that because this is such a large kind of retail space, and you're engaging so many people, again this has its own smoke um, management system. So it has its own like hazard based management system. We will come to the details of it later, but largely what we're concentrating on is this portion, which has its own kind of hazard management system, because it has such a public kind of an interface at the lower level, and it's about I think it's about 2 or 3 floors high. I think that image that you see is the parking, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. No, it's the retail space. Sorry, I'm just confused. With the image there because it's small. Then you have your theaters that we saw was at the corner. So that's largely the area that also again has its own system which will alarm separately, and there will be a deployment of a certain kind of system and people to make sure that this is managed and individually can be evacuated from the building. So because of the multiple kind of programs that are functioning in the project, I think each of them have their own kind of a management system, and I think there is also this hierarchy of what becomes more of an emergency situation versus another. So there is that kind of an understanding of how the whole system can be broken into parts, and who can handle what. So this is kind of talking about that, the type of fire detection that you're doing in different kinds of spaces, and the levels that you're dealing with, and the kind of detectors and things like that that have been used. So like you see all levels here. They have an automatic sprinkler system. There is a smoke detector system on the third to fifth and atrium base. So depending on what kind of program you're dealing with, that has been thought about. Then you have beam detectors, and then you have your different type of smoke detectors, of course. Um, Anything in the basement here in the type of detector that you would like to talk about, Meenal? Or should we just go ahead with that?
No, when they say point type detectors means that they are the detectors which are individually connected to the electrical circuits. Okay, and so in case of there is, because see this basement, if you see the building is pretty large, and to man it would become a very difficult thing. So they have to be very cautious, and they really don't know what can go wrong there, and who will behave in what manner, and what human errors can lead to what kind of disaster, and so they have to be extra precautious. So there are lots of systems used. If you come down at first level atrium base, if you can see, they have also used or rather sorry, all levels, basement galleries level 2, where there is I think science art science museum mein, वो वाले में तो they
Hmm.
have used pre-action sprinkler systems, which I already talked about in the high rise when we were talking
Hmm.
about. So it's a doubly kind of loaded and protected, so that since this is again, as I said, art and museum, so you know that there are storage areas there. You have expensive art materials there. Okay, you might have certain sculptures or maybe paintings, maybe some paper painting. Who knows? I mean, it could be anything which you want to protect and don't want to get harmed just by somebody's mistake. That's where the pre-action kind of a sprinkler comes into the action. So yeah, so they have employed almost everything. So in the atrium, if you see, where did I read that? So in the atrium, they have side kind of sprinklers. Now atrium, they don't have the slab. So आप sprinklers कहाँ लगाओगे? Like when you don't have the slab, how would you then assure that that the fire fighting can happen? So what they do is they have high pressurized sprinklers put on the wall. So you remember the umbrella kind which only falls on the half side of it. So that kind of sprinklers are used. Of course, the limitation is there. It can fall only to a certain distance, but they are pressurized. So you have a separate kind of a line and booster pump setup for that. So you have these kind of different kinds of systems for different kind of situations and contacts even within a building. है ना? Because it's a high rise, and as I already know, high rise is like a mini city. सब कुछ हो रहा है वहाँ पे. Auditoriums है, shopping है, residential है, hotel है. I mean, I'm going to the fourth floor to have my food, and I'm going about to have my park. So it's like you just go around in the same building and you are there everywhere. So that is when you have that kind of functions, you really don't know what can go wrong, and that's where you can see this amalgamation of systems that are being used.
Yeah, same way the hotel has like smoke detection and flame detection, because you have your kitchen and things like that. So there's light, fire and all of that. So then you have an additional kind of layer of system that comes into play there, which you have not seen in any of these spaces, which are more to do with the public spaces, and there's no kind of engagement of fire directly as such. So these are some of the images of the various systems, actually, some of them which Meenal already spoke about and has pointed out. So I think
so you can see this main, you can see that main panel at FCC, okay? I don't know what FCC stands for, but I can tell you what is main panel. The main panel is basically a place where entire diagramming of the building is done. And each and every sprinkler, या फिर आपका detector or whatever kind, it can be flame, heat, smoke, movement detector, anything. Now all those detectors will be shown on that panel. So it looks pretty large. I mean, if you can see, the entire plan is shown on there, and this is then the sprinklers will start blinking in case of there is a fire, okay? And that's where the first signal of danger starts. So that's how the entire, so that's your BMS panel. When we say that, and all this is placed in your BMS room where a personnel has to be there. So when I say the BMS, that means definitely your security increases, but at the same time your day-to-day maintenance cost also increases, because you have to pay someone to sit there and man everything. And that person has to be not just koi secretary nahi chalega. That guy has to be intelligent enough, and he has to be trained personnel who can understand what the system is speaking. Otherwise, in the case of emergencies, he would go blank, or she would go blank, and wouldn't know what the system is trying to say. So yes, it's a costly affair, but it's a necessary affair, because when I talk about millions of people in that building, I need to be very, very precautious, and that's where the systems come into picture to help each other.
Yeah, these are a series of all the detectors and this is a sprinkler.
Yeah.
That they have employed, they have included in their project. Yeah, like we said, I think there is basically they are looking at a three system kind of an approach, where there is evacuation strategies, then there is facilities, that the fire protection kind of facilities, and then there is the risk management. So basically the risk management of course comes in the end, which is an emergency kind of situation. What would you do? But these are what we are looking at as strategies and the facilities that they have provided. And that in that they have the major thing about communication and making sure all teams are aware of what is happening. If there are any announcements to be made, that's also very important of the whole working of the fire system or the evacuation system. If you all have done fire drills in school and things like that, you all have also probably understood that there is going to be some bell that is going to ring, and that's when you all know you all have to run down the stairs. In a high-rise building, it would happen at a very different kind of level, because it needs that whole technical backing, and you need your communication system within the team, as well as if there is any requirement of announcing anything for the whole building. So this actually talks about those kind of things, and any warning kind of system that is required to be shown. Yeah, so these were those photographs of those fire sprinkler systems which has been shown here. So we saw that whole think about what kind of sprinkler is used in different places. Like Meena said, there is going to be a side sprinkler in the atrium because you do not have walls. These are some of those, and it talks about the details of what has been used. They've also said where. So this is talking about the detail of what the kitchen system is using. One is to remove, of course, the smoke. Their hood system must be much larger than anything that we have kind of seen, because the commercial kitchen size in a building of this size, because of the footfall that they get, is much larger. So then they also have the bell, or the trigger, like the pulling of the alarm is right here at next to the counter. um, and I think that is one of the detectors, right, Meena?
Wait a second, let me check. Could be, it could be. I mean, there's so
So
many
this
new things in the market. Yeah,
Yeah, so this
could be.
diagram actually explains a lot of that. This is the manual pull station, like we saw this one, and then we have this entire piping for the, of course, the pulling of the smoke, if there is any. Um, yeah, but largely that is only working as your fire detection kind of zone.
If you read on the top of that, na, Swati, can you go back? Okay, if you read it, it's very clearly said. See, in kitchen, you have heat coming from oil. Okay, pani आप use नहीं कर सकते. People will start slipping, and anyway, oil will float over the water, and so then you can have actually fire on the water kind of a situation, which we don't want that, right? So the only thing to suppress, so remember fire K, which started in kitchen, the type of fire which we studied in sixth semester. Okay, the type K is in kitchen, and that is where you will go for foam or something like carbon dioxide or anything. यहाँ पे what they are saying is, it's very clearly written. Okay, installed within kitchen areas for kitchen exhaust hoods. Fine, protected by a foam line. That means somewhere in the building, guys, somewhere in the building, there will have to be a room where you will have to either produce foam or you have to store foam. From outside you bring it and store it. Okay, and then there has to be a pump which will push this foam into the kitchen, wherever that is. Okay, and that's how you will fight fire in case if there is a fire in the kitchen. So you understand all this back thing that will be there for you guys to understand. तो वो foam line कितना thick होना चाहिए, उसको क्या insulation चाहिए, where will it be, does it require any exposure like a gas pipeline is. Okay, now these are some of the serious issues which, as an architect, like even I have never encountered, and I have never practiced foam in any of the building that I have done up till now. So these are some of the very, very specialized high rise kind of a building where a very major, like Arup is one of the, I mean, a very, very prolific kind of a consultant, जिनका हाथ सभी high rise building में कहीं ना कहीं पे है. Either they are there as an envelope consultant or an MEP consultant or a service, anything, but they are structural consultant. So basically, they deal with anything technical related with the building, and the name is Arup. I think you guys should go on their site and subscribe to their newsletter and the Arup Journal, and you will be updated with the latest technology that is happening, because they invent technologies. They are that kind of people. So what they have done here is this. So that means you will now have to start thinking that there is another line. आपका gas lines है, water lines है, sprinklers, detectors, electricity, blah blah, AC, mechanical ventilation, all those तो है ही है, ऊपर से ये आएगा. So imagine your services are increasing now, and there can be many other services that can go. So that is where, as I say, you have to consult with the consultant when you start planning. I hope the system is clear, and they've very clearly shown there above. If you see on the right hand side, the flame is there and the foam kaise khulta hai. So again, you have, see, it's written in the last line. Operation of the system can be automatic through fusible link. As the flame increases, the temperature increases. The fusible link is the material which has a certain set temperature at which it melts. So as the temperature reaches that level, it will melt and the panel will open up and the foam will fall on the flame and the flame will be put out. That's how no people are required to fight the fire. It will work automatically. So that is the idea. The same thing, carbon dioxide panels will work. So there, nobody is going to pull a big ladder, लेके आओ भैया और फिर ऊपर से वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का बॉक्स खोलो ताकि तो तब तक तुम तो जल जाएगा ना, नीचे ही आग लगाया तो how will you do that? So you got to be, everything has to be automated. ठीक है? Yeah.
So this is the pre-action sprinkler system which is installed at the museum galleries. Like Meenal already spoke about, because the galleries house so many important elements. This is almost like an immediate kind of a response to if anything of a smoke detection happens there. So that is the sprinkler system which will be employed. So these are the photographs of those that kind of system that they have included. This is actually, I think, this is at the lower floor, and so that's what. So there is a large kind of water deployment that will happen if there is a large fire that is detected. So that is the photograph of zoom in of a zoom in. You see it at the beam level, which is kind of at at a center to center distance probably, which has been included, and that's the amount of water that it can deploy at one point to release any of the fire that has been put off any of the fire that has come off at the lower level. So this is also at one of the atriums, because it says skating rink. So yeah, so that's at the lower floor level.
Yeah. So in India, guys, it is known as a monitor. Okay, it is known as a fire monitor. It's nothing to do with the monitoring of the system. No. But क्या करते हैं? When the fire guys come, they bring that attachment with themselves. It is not the part of the building. This thing. So once the hose reel is attached to the hydrant and it is unfolded and taken there, now you need force. Okay. So what they do is they attach that fire monitor at the end of the hose reel. Okay, and then the so what happens is it gives a further flow. So that's why we say na कि suppose आपका hose reel is about 15 meters and you can go till 15 meters and fight fire, and fire का जो because of the pressure it will go another 2 meters. With monitor it can go 4 to 5 meters extra, so it basically exerts more pressure. I don't know what is the mechanism made up of, but it is called as a fire monitor, and they bring that with them to fight fire so that they can stay away from the fire and help it. So today they have come up with something called as a carbon dioxide bombs. So they have these kind of missile kind of a thing, जैसे grenade कैसे रहता है वैसे ही. They don't have to pull up pin or something. Just throw it within the fire. The outer shell melts and the whole thing releases the carbon dioxide which is spread inside, and the thing subsides. They have come up with another material. I don't know whether it is possible or we have it in India, but there were some firefighting methods that I was just watching. Actually, it was about high rise, and I don't remember the country in which in which that thing was documented. So they just have this sheet, okay, fire resistant carpet kind of a thing, or a blanket or whatever you call it. And on either side, so if suppose a car is on fire, suppose, okay, and we are talking about small scale fire, but which can blast, like a car can really blast and can affect other things. So if you want to subside that, what they do is on both sides, these people, जैसे हम चद्दर उड़ाते हैं वैसे, and they will walk across. So the whole of that blanket will cover that part, and everything will subside. So that is another kind of. So there are these various new materials and systems that are coming in place. I don't know how far India is marching ahead, but very soon it will be a part of India as well. Yeah, Swati, continue.
Yes. So this is actually one of the photographs of the tower, where you have your detectors actually happening at every floor. So here you see that they've kind of shown the smoke detection that is happening. So if there's any kind of fire or smoke that has been detected at the lobby level, then that is going to be kind of been alarmed by these detectors that they have at every level, and they've also kind of spoken about it in detail here, of course. Automatic point type smoke detectors in the corridor. Then there are beam detectors, which are something that you see here. Sorry, these are the flame detectors. So that is why you see that this is what the blue line is showing. Then there are sprinklers which are concealed or recessed for level 1, so that can be put out immediately as an immediate reaction to anything that is happening at the lobby level. Yeah, so those are the types of detectors and sprinklers that have been used.
You can see on the Swati, can you go back? Yeah.
Yes.
If you see the niche wala picture on the extreme right, they've shown the exhaust vent there, and then you have an envelope. So that means that the curtain wall and the building, that jo space rehta hai, that is used to exhaust all the smoke out. So basically say any floor, could be any floor, 15th, 30th, whatever, catches fire. And we told you, right, in the 6th semester, that do not put smoke in the corridor, because that is the place where people will run to the escape routes. So that has to be clear. So if I cannot push it into the corridor, I have to push it out, right? How do I do that? So they have put an exhaust fan at the top of the terrace, okay, where the capacity of the fan is so large that it has the a pull for the smoke to come up. And that's how the face of the wall will actually be used as a smoke carrier up and release it, so that your internal spaces are free of smoke, and bahar se bahar hi tumhara smoke chala jaye, theek hai? So that is how you will also need to think whenever you get a chance to plan your building of such nature, that this is how you will keep your inside areas free of smoke. See, remember, in firefighting, one thing is of prime importance: keep smoke out. Kaise bhi, okay? And for that you invent something new, great, okay? But otherwise, work with this kind of logic. That's it. Yeah. Go ahead, Swati.
Yeah. So this, I mean, I actually wasn't sure of where this figure. I think this is at the basement level that this is happening. Yeah, this is at the car
This
park,
is,
right? This
yeah,
is at the
yeah.
car park. These
So
are
you
your
see this,
ductless
this is
fans.
a ductless ventilation system, guys. Remember Suzlon I talked about? Suzlon mein yehi system hai. But Suzlon mein best part is, if I imagine the building ka basement as say a rectangle, what Benninger has done is, architect Christopher Benninger, is that he has left those sleeves. Remember in the basement ka lecture we said that how do you get your basements ventilated? You extend either the basement out, okay, or don't exit the basement out, but at least वहाँ पे cut out करके आप उसको protect करो, allow the light and wind to come from the side or from the top, and that's how it will enter. Similar kind of a thing he has done, okay? So say my building line and the basement line is same, because I want to continue the structure, so they are going at the same level. But at the ground level, what I'm doing is I'm actually cutting out a part of the earth, okay, pushing it further so that it becomes a kind of a courtyard and kind of a slit where the light and ventilation can be entered into the basement. And that's where I will put these ductless machines. These are kind of axial fans, okay, because they work in the axis manner, in a horizontal axis, and that's how they push the air. And if you have this slit set happening at every level, voila, your thing is done. I mean, you don't need any darks, you don't need plenum rooms, or you don't need fan rooms, okay? Sab kuch hai. Plus, you don't need those stupid mushroom towers coming up, because your fan is chalu karo, and from that slit, automatically things will come in. So as long as you do this, your entire ground floor can be very well planned, without these things jutting out, marring your landscape and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so yeah.
This last slide actually speaks about the automatic kind of sprinkler system. I think what diagrammatically they've shown that if there is a smoke or fire here at the shop level, then how does that travel up? Because you have your extraction kind of situation happening here, which will pull out the smoke. Um, with a I believe with a fan, which is an exhaust kind of situation, and then you have your detection, which is happening at these points, which they have shown. These guys are actually on the beams here, which have been placed. And there's also this, I think, yeah, this is an automatically opening door. So if there is anything, then that can pull out and create a connection with the outside in any case. So that is the whole idea of what they have shown. Yeah, if I'm right about, yeah, there are motorized doors there. That point, this point here. So, so that I this is the last slide that we have for this project. But this is essentially your shopping center at the bottom that we spoke about, which has a huge kind of arcade, and that has the 3-floor system, and that basically then allows for your opening at the top and pulls out any air in a hazardous situation. So yeah, that's what we have for this project as components. We're towards the end of the presentation.
Okay. Guys, any questions? Thanks, Swati. That was nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had a doubt regarding the CCTV tower that you showed.
Yes.
Uh, so basically, since the building has been zoned and you also have the multiple mechanical floors happening, how exactly does the separate service structure actually come into play? Because we have this building for the technology studio as well, but we haven't
I
quite
thought
been
of
able
you.
to figure out, yeah,
Hmm.
like how that part comes in.
No, so I didn't get your questions. I said there will be
Yeah,
multiple these things. What was your
the,
question?
the so how the service structure that happens, the 2 or the 3 story service structure on the side. So how exactly does that come in? Because you have the mechanical flows happening within. Also the AC, the cooling rooms are also happening below with the cooling tower on top. So
Yeah.
how does the separate service structure essentially work?
What do you mean by
Like what
separate
are the
service
functions?
structure?
So there was this image of the entire business park, and
Uh-huh.
there is that circular service building. So what exactly are the functions that happen within there?
Uh-huh. Those so
Huh.
service building, see, when they say service now, finance is a service to people. It could mean that. Can't be that you separate services in some other building and तुम्हारा building इधर function कर रहा है.
Acha.
I don't think they mean that. I don't
The
think.
fire control system is here, but of course
Okay.
I mean the headquarters is here. Okay,
Hmm.
I mean it's one of the programs of the many things.
Yeah.
But this guy has all its systems, of course, in place. It's just connected back into this where probably the people are sitting there and things like that.
Okay. All right.
The
Okay, so
control,
Ananya,
the control
yeah.
system. The
Huh.
control system is in this.
Which
Acha.
system? Where?
Regard.
The fire control system is housed in this building, in this circular building.
Okay.
Okay. So, but that is a okay, fine. So control can be anywhere as long as I connect
Yeah.
the fire. Okay, I can sit and control from say China में हूँ मैं Japan से कर सकती हूँ. What difference does it make as long as communication happens? Okay, so it can happen within. But if I'm zoning the building, the plant room has to be at that place. The
Okay.
element has to pass from one thing to the other. They cannot be in the separate building, but control can be, because that is computerized, it is programmed, you have LAN systems. Okay, so that can be. That's why BMS could be anywhere. हम क्यों बोलते हैं आपको कि BMS should be at the ground floor? Because that is the first thing a fire or emergency guys will access, because they need to understand the layout of the building in a large scale. When the building is large, they need to understand that. That's why they approach the BMS room first. That's why we say do not tuck it away in such areas that पहले उसको ढूंढने में ही बहुत परेशानी होगी. है ना? Because not that every Tom, Dick and Harry who walks into the building or even the person sitting at the main desk or the reception will know what is BMS. वो technical लोगों को ही पता होगा, right? But if a BMS is very clearly marked and the security is told about it, that anything happens, this is a room for you guys to run to, go to room, then that can be catered to. That's why it has to be in a very obvious position, easily accessible position, and yeah, I mean that's it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Got it? So I
Yeah.
hope I answered your question.
Yeah.
So services, the services could be also okay. So the services could be like, as I said, finance is one of the, so it's a tertiary service that a person gets, right? So services का meaning वो भी हो सकता है, not architectural building services.
ठीक है. Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, I had a doubt in the ductless system. So, yeah, so
Yes.
you say the ductless system like cuts off
Right.
all the cleaner room and the fans and stuff. So,
Yes.
first thing I didn't get a clear idea of how it works, and second is if it has so much advantages, why don't we use it quite often? Like, why don't
Very
we
good
go for
question.
the duct system?
Okay, so this is who? Lalit, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Lalit, for that I require outlets. I need to plan my basements accordingly. If I'm not planning basements where I can put the ductless, then you will have to go for mechanical. But if you see Suzlon building, so as I just told you, imagine that you are drawing a rectangle. Okay, on every, after 20 meters, you are taking a strip of light and a ventilation from there. Okay. अब जहां से आप वो ले रहे हो, you put a ductless fan there, okay, which is having a great kind of an energy to throw, having a capacity, and it makes noise. Okay, so yes, that is a problem, which you cannot contain in a room, but जब वो चालू होता है, yes, it is there. So that means that you will have to plan your ground floor accordingly. Now, many times the basements are planned in such a way that ground floor do not give you this kind of freedom. In that case, you have no option but to go for a mechanical. It is only when you plan this, then I can go for ductless. Otherwise, strictly no. That is the reason. आप बॉम्बे की बात करो, बॉम्बे में डू यू थिंक यू विल हैव स्पेस? हम 1.5 मिनिमम बोलते हैं आपको, वो 1.5 में तू किधर बाहर निकालेगा और वहां से तू एयर डालेगा अंदर? है ही नहीं जगह. Unless you, as Vikram very nicely explained in the construction, where 1.5 is ठीक है आपको बोला है, but it is not a nice thing, and he explained you very well. Okay. And that is because it does not allow me to plant anything there. So how then you talk about having swales? किधर है जगह? गटर ही डालना पड़ेगा फिर. So unless you consciously say that I'm going to keep 3 meters, whether चलो मेरा 4 कार अंदर कम जाएगा, okay, चलेगा मुझे, but I am taking this a very conscious decision of not extending and all on, मतलब I don't know how big is my footprint, but at least from the side of the compound, my 3 to 4 meters, I'm going to keep it free, so that I can plan my rainwater harvesting, I can plan my management of thing, and I can then think of the sustainable kind of a thing and make my building green, actually green, okay, and I don't mean technology wise, green like landscape. But otherwise, 1.5 meters, either you have to take the basement up or you put soil up and then do all that natak, wo karna padega. So yes, there are ifs and buts. If I do this, then I cannot do this. If I do that, then I cannot do this. वो सब है, वो सब pros and cons करके आपको design decisions लेने हैं. So we are just telling you that these are the options. These are the methods available. Now you do your चाय में कितनी चीनी डालनी है वो आपका है, choice.
Yeah. Cool, thanks.
And you will come across many such systems, and I'm telling you guys, it's not possible to cover up all systems because today the things are becoming so complex, and with this now new pandemic thing, now it will become even tougher. And I'm telling you, after this now, I can almost imagine new set of services coming into it, because the whole human behavior, the kind of security, the kind of sanitization has completely changed scenario. So Abhi, I don't know what new levels of services will come into the picture, but it's for us to imagine now. But these are some of the basic things that an architect has to consider while designing. So, and that's where we say that, and you can see now all the buildings. If you see the squares and the crosses on it, and if you actually sit, somebody does this exercise, and somebody has done this exercise. That is why I can very confidently say, because that guy had taken the patience and diligence to work out. If 50% of your area is services, you can't afford to ignore services when you are designing. है ना? So, and if you don't think of the vertical integration, you don't think of the horizontal integration, even at an institute level, which you guys are doing at fourth year level, it's a problematic thinking as an architect. This is not system thinking that I already told you in site planning. System thinking मतलब दूर की सोच, सब कुछ सोचना है उनको. And cross connection between sectors, that is system thinking, and which I think not your class, sorry, final year में वो example दिया था, but I explained you that example here. What happened when flood happens, and then this suddenly the land increases, and what happens when the land increases? क्या connection है उसको services से? But है, you know, so that's how the entire thing is. Any other questions, guys? No? Okay, then see you guys on Tuesday. Bye bye.